Hey guys, Cassandra here with day 12 of the Wounded Narrator series. And today I want to talk about environments. So I have been reading, I just started reading recently, The Biology of Belief. And I've always just been curious, how does this all work? What creates these things? How do we develop these beliefs? To what depth are they intertwined in us? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how, the way we behave goes all the way down to the way our cells are adapted for certain chemicals and hormones because it's used to these releases from our emotions and the triggers that happen in our mind, right? So I was curious, about this whole idea. So in the book, Biology of Belief, he talks about, because he's a cellular stem cell doctor or something like that. I literally just started, so I don't know as much about his background, but he has a background in biology and science and looking at cells and how they function and work in the environments and stuff like that. And he talked about, when you're doing an experiment and you have set of cells or cells in a petri dish and you notice that they're not thriving, you don't go and figure and think, okay, what's wrong with this cell? Why isn't it thriving in this environment? Instead, they go and they look, okay, what about this environment is not working or not being the optimum space for this cell to thrive in? And I start thinking about our lives, why is it that sometimes we try to fit into these environments that we've outgrown? And we feel it. As you start to grow, people, places, jobs, all these things kind of start to feel uncomfortable. They don't fit anymore. And yet we keep trying to fit these roles. And for me personally, I'm always like, why is it that I can't? What is wrong with me? Why is it that everybody else around me seems to so easily be able to fit into this role that I just can't do? And I thought, okay, so after reading that, it's maybe I'm just outgrown this space and I'm trying to fill a space that I no longer fit in. And how this impacts our story, because ultimately the Wounded Narrator is about understanding what's generating this story and how to come from behind it. So if you're in a place that you created, right, with an old belief or an old value or thought system, and you're still in it, and yet you've evolved in a personal development and a growth sort of way, then this space that you're in is no longer right for you. It's hard to thrive in a space that just no longer suits you. And then we think, and then that's where that story starts to generate, right? What's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? Why isn't this easier? I must be a failure. I must not be good enough. If I can't do this, I'm not worthy of anything else. And we focus on ourselves and what's wrong with us instead of examining, am I in the right environment for my growth? Am I thriving in this environment? Is this a place where I can thrive? So sometimes our story is generated also by the people around us, right? So you're in an environment and people have a certain idea of who you are, and it makes it easier for them to put you in this certain box, because then they're like, okay, this is Cassandra. She's always like this. This is who she is. Cool. I can deal with that. As you start to grow and change, it's almost like a stifling environment. People don't want to allow you this space because it's uncomfortable for them. Because if you change, then they now have to change how they view you. And most people will then turn around and be like, oh, there's something wrong with her. All of a sudden she thinks she's better than everybody because she's doing this or she's doing that. And these are things that I have personally dealt with, and it's like, no, that's not the case. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I have just grown to a point where I understand things differently. and I'm more compassionate and more empathetic. And at times, it'll make me look like I want to share and I want to teach and I want to inspire others. And when you come from an environment where everybody's complaining and arguing and bitching and all this other stuff, they don't want to hear that bullshit. They don't want to hear the positive because they enjoy the connection of the negativity. So if you are in the process of growth and you are starting to feel uncomfortable where you're at, and you're starting to look and think, what's wrong with me? I want to give you the advice to, just for a second, check your environment. Because there are times where we will have to shift our perspective and our story will have to change about ourselves. And we will have to see things in a way that's a little bit more compassionate towards ourselves. But there are also times when the environment we're in is going to influence these stories, and getting out of an environment that's no longer suiting you, it's healthy and it's not escaping. So, you always heard, no matter where you go, you always take yourself with you. And that is very true. If you try to leave a toxic environment without resolving what got you there, yes, you're going to carry that with you, and you're going to create a similar toxic environment somewhere else, because you attract what you are. You're going to see the validation from the external world reflected back. So that's always going to be the case. But if you are feeling like, if you've ever experienced, like for me, right, I have this job that I don't like, and it's such a limited environment, and it is about a lot of bitching and complaining. And even though I know where it's coming from, and I know it's their stories, and I know it's the certain level of unconsciousness that's happening there, I see it, I understand. But then when I'm in, like, let's say the Tony Robbins world, and I'm there and I'm serving, I'm connecting, and I'm just sharing love, it brings out a whole different side of me, and I feel just natural in that environment. Whereas in the other environment, I feel like I have to play a role or wear a mask, because otherwise people just tend to have this opinion, and I'm tired of keeping myself small for the comfort of others, right? So when we stay in an environment that keeps us small, we are sacrificing ourselves. And I don't know about you, but I've been doing this for 33 years, and I am done. I'm done sacrificing myself and my happiness to please others, and to constantly worry about other people's opinions and all of those things that come up when you start to change and the way people perceive that. So when it comes to your story, it's always good to kind of see what's going on inside. Where is that? What is triggering that? What belief or what story or what memory is causing me to believe that that is truth, and how true is it, right? But then there's also the aspect of, am I where I need to be? And sometimes growth, it gets to the point uncomfortable where it forces you out, right? Like if you don't want to go, like there have been times, like for example, there was one time where I was just at this job, and of course it just wasn't the place for me. And I continued to work there and hate every second of it. And I just got to the point where I can't do this anymore. But I wasn't leaving, right? I wasn't getting myself out the door. So I came in one morning and the universe said, it's time to go. And I got fired. And it was the best experience of my life, because right after that is when I started reading Brene Brown and understanding shame and vulnerability and how long I've been living this life that is not in alignment with who I am. And I became a life coach. And I wanted to help others discover this about themselves and realize that there's so much we've been limiting, so many ways we've limited ourselves in our lives based on expectations of others, or trying to please others, or even just the shame of something that's happened to us in the past, and now we carry that with us and we can't move forward because it's got such a hold on us, right? So there are times when your environment will push you out if you're not ready. But now, since we're becoming more conscious and we're understanding things, if you're trying to get past your story, as I am, and And hopefully everybody watching this has a similar experience where they just want to grow and change and discover the things that are really holding them back, those limitations, those blocks. Then when it comes to these things, understanding that your environment plays a huge role in this. So next time you go and you start to think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Think, am I in the best environment for my growth? Can I thrive here? Or is this a place that was created by the old me, and since I am no longer that person, it's time for me to go? It was a really eye-opening thing for me today to really experience that. And it's like, God, I've been doing that for so long. Considering what's wrong with me instead of, am I in the right place for myself? So hopefully, if you find yourself in that situation and you're just like, I don't know, I recommend that you just take a second. Am I in a place that was created by my old self? Or am I in a place that's created by my new self where I can actually thrive and grow into this person that I was always meant to be? And start to get rid of all those stories and all that baggage that we carry with us that ultimately just weighs us down and holds us back. So hopefully you find as much value in it as I did, because I was blown today. It was an amazing read and a thought that just came to me, and I was just loving every second of it. And that hopefully this is something that you will find valuable as well. And hopefully this is something that will help you further along in your path. I look forward to coming back here tomorrow, guys, and sharing more with you, because this is an amazing journey. And as many people that want to come with me, I'm here and I am open and I am ready to share and connect and just guide. So until tomorrow, guys, be happy, and I'll see you later.